nailer to nail it all into position. I first did all of the full sheets along the back and then came back and did all the partial pieces up front.
So when you're decking, you want to stagger your joints. So I intentionally cut this one a little bit shorter so that it would not be on the same seam as this one.
All right, moving right along. Now it was time to lay down the paper. A buddy of mine had a roll of synthetic roofing paper, so he gave it to me for doing this job. Thank you, buddy. And instead of using roofing nails, I ended up using my slap stapler, and this made very quick work of putting this down. And I made sure whenever I got to the back of the roof line to put the existing paper over this paper. Then I came back and applied a drip edge. Now the shingles I'm going with only require a drip edge along the front edge, so I did not have to apply a drip edge to either one of the sides. Alright, and now onto the shingling. Now, the material I'm going with is made by a company called Ondaline, and not only do I think that they are prettier than conventional shingles, but they're also more environmental friendly. They are made up of 50% recycled material that is infused with asphalt, but they are just as simple to install as conventional shingles. I started off by preparing what will be my starter row shingles, and for these, the company makes these foam inserts just to prevent insects or birds from getting into those corrugations. And to make installing them simple, I applied a little bit of spray adhesive just to keep them in place while I'm moving around the shingles. But then I moved them all to the roof and started installing them. Now for the very first shingle, you do have to install an additional piece of foam in that very last corrugation, just because another shingle is not going to be overlapping it. So I set it in place, measured out my overhang, which in my case I wanted 1.5 inches, and then put in a screw. Then I went to the opposite end of the shingle, not going to the very last corrugation since another shingle will have to be overlapping it, but to the second last corrugation and also put in a screw after measuring the overhang was the same. Then I could fill in the remaining corrugations in between.
So my back porch is that direction. So by starting the shingling on this side, all of the overlapping seams are going to be on this side of the corrugation, so that whenever you look down the roof line from the back porch, you're not going to be able to see them.
As you can see, they overlap very simply, and then it's just a matter of repeating the process, putting in the first screw, the second to last screw, and then filling it in. When it came time to start the second row, I used a box blade with a hook on the end in order to cut off one corrugation. And this is just to stagger the seams of the shingles. Now, since my roofing paper doesn't have any marks, I just measured the reveal of that first row of shingles in order to line up the second. Then, since I was already on this side, I went ahead and cut and installed the remaining shingles so that I could work all the way to the back of the roof line and fill it in completely.
So this is called an apron piece, and it's going to transition from these two angles. So I'm going to take the flat portion and work it under this. Then I'm going to have to cut this back row to be a shorter tile. I'm going to be working it under this apron piece, and then of course over this piece.
All in all, I was super impressed with how simple and easy it was to install. It took me right over 3 hours to install it all, which I don't think is bad considering I don't roof for a living. If you want more information about these shingles, then I will leave you links in the description of the video. It's pretty impressive stuff. After getting all of the shingles installed, I moved on to what they call the verge pieces, which is just the pieces that go along the edge to not only give it a completed look, but also these are the pieces that take the place of needing to install a drip edge along the rake.
Alright, and that's actually where I'm going to have to stop for this week. However, next week in part 2, I'm going to be doing the decking for the underside, running some lights, as well as finishing out the post. So stay tuned if you're interested. Of course, I would love to hear what you think about my project so far in the comment section below. So stay tuned for part 2. I will see you soon.